Um, Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rosida Rakhmawati Muhammad, and today I would like to present my slide presentations about the ethnomathematics, the development of learning resources in geometry using Tapis Lampung for secondary schools. Okay, my slide is starting with the problems of Indonesia learning outcomes, especially the student learning outcomes. So this is according to the PISA results of 2018, it is found that the positions of Indonesia to other country who participating in this assessment is quite low, which is the rank is 72 out 78 country. And just only 24% of Indonesia students achieve a level 2 compared to the OECD, they can achieve 72%, which is in this level 2, the student expected to solving a simple problem or simple questions related to the using mathematics questions. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, my name is Rosida Rakhmawati Muhammad. I come from Coventry University. So today I would like to present my slide presentations about ethnomathematics, the development of learning resources in geometry using Tapis Lampung for secondary schools. So my slide is starting with the problems of Indonesia student learning outcomes, and especially this is from the results of PISA assessment, which is conducting in 2019. From the PISA result, it is found that Indonesia ranking is 72 out 78 country, which is the score is also quite low. And the score is 379. This is quite low for other country that participating in this assessment. And only 24% of Indonesia students can achieve in level 2 compared to the OECD that they can achieve 72%. And then just only 1% of Indonesia can achieve level 5 compared to the OECD, they can achieve 11%, which is in this level 5. I mean, in this level 5, the student expected that they can solving or they can modeling complex situations with mathematically complex situations, modeling mathematical complex situations, and then they can select and evaluate with the appropriate problem solvings for dealing with the problems given. So from this result, it is indicating that the student of Indonesia, they are not used to solving the problem related to the problem solvings because they are not get used to given the problems or the questions that contextual with the problem in the real life. So one of the solutions of this is like I try to approach ethnomathematics learning research that it can be help teachers for teaching mathematics, especially in a geometry. So also it can be helping students to improving their learning outcomes. So this is the learning resource that I try to approach. The learning resource that I try to use in this study is based on Tapis Lampung, which is Tapis Lampung in one of Indonesia local artifact from Lampung province. And this is really a lot of not a lot but majority of the Lampung people really familiar with the artifact, and also the student in secondary school especially they will they really are familiar with this artifact, because this fabric is we used to using this fabric for the traditional ceremonial or something like that. So a lot of Lampung people is really familiar with this fabric. So from the Tapis Lampung, I try to exploring a lot of geometrical concept here. So, and then it can be interesting when it can be bring to the classroom for introducing the geometrical concept. For examples, like we can find two-dimensional figure here, and the student will be more interesting to find or discover the properties or the formula of two-dimensional figures. And then the research objective. I tried to make one research question here, which is how Tapis Lampung, which is the clothes with traditional design made in Lampung province of Indonesia, may be used as an alternative learning resource to geometry, geometry concept, and secondary schools. And this is the methodology. So I employ a mixed method, which is I try to use together both of qualitative method and quantitative method. But in this study, it is more dominating with the qualitative compared to the quantitative. For the quantitative side, I'm using experimental and also control group, and after that I'm giving like the student the treatment for the experiments group, which is after that I try to comparing their improvement with pretest and posttest, and I trying to using normalized gain to know or to see the improvement of the student performance in mathematics. And after that, I try to see the significance with the statistic test using the test. And then for the qualitative side, I try to using a thematic analysis, which is I try to adapting from Brown and Clark. This is including 6 different stages of thematic analysis. And also for the data gathering activity, running with 5 different activity in data collections. This is starting with teacher workshops, and after that I'm conducting classroom observations, and I'm giving geometry tests, and which is including pre and post test, and then I'm running with teacher interview, and the last conducting student group discussions. Okay, and then this is the learning resource that I tried to develop, which is for 8 meeting, I tried to use this learning resource for students, especially the teacher delivery the topics of a triangle and quadrilateral. So the learning resource that I tried develop, this is based on the Tapis Lampung. And also beside that, I try to give the activity in the workshop that focus on the student activity. So this is dominating with student activity, and teacher just like giving assistance when the students have a difficulties or problem. So the learning resource, this learning resource actually not just only focusing on the Tapis Lampung, but also I try to focusing how they can engage during the learning process with an active learning strategy. So then this is the finding. So after I'm running with 5 different data gathering, then I got a lot of finding and results. So I try to creating like this is the map, because they are connecting each others. They have two main factor here, which is the using of ethnomathematics learning resource together with active learning strategy, which is scientific approach. This is impacting the teacher and also the student. So starting with the teacher, they have a really good view or perceptions about the using of ethnomathematics learning research, which is they view is like positive that I said before. They think that the use of ethnomathematics learning research, this is really interesting, and also this is contextual and really relevant to the materials that they're delivered. And also this is really beneficial for a student because the student can get used to solving the questions that really contextual, because previously the teachers they have difficulties to finding a proper media for teaching the material, especially in two-dimensional figures. And also the impacting, this is including teacher and the students. The first is the teacher commitment. So after I'm using, I try to using a treatment for the experimental group, which is some delivery teacher workshops. Then after that, the teacher implementing in the class, and the impact is they all have a positive commitment that they are willing to continue for using active learning strategy, which is this is scientific approach, together with the ethnomathematics learning research in the class. And then impacting to the student ability, it is like a student can improving their self-confidence, and also they can increasing the interest and motivations in learning mathematics, and also they're improving the communication skill. I mean, so the learning resource that I try to develop in this study that I said before, this is not just only focusing in Tapis Lampung, but how it can be make students active in the class, and then they have a positive engagement with their peers, teachers, and also it can improving the academic environment in the class. And then based on the students, especially their learning outcomes, it's like improving after I try to using a statistic test, which is the performance of mathematics students is improving from a pre to the post test. And also after I try to using a statistic test, it is significantly contributing that the using of active learning alongside with the mathematics approach, it can improving student learning outcomes. And also the engagement, it's really positive. This is not just about engagement student with their self, but also it is like impacting the engagement with the teacher, their classmates or peers, and also with the content materials, because they're more interesting and they're gained motivations to know more, because they tend to be curious about to finding the properties inside the Tapis Lampung that is like relate to the concept of two-dimensional figures. And they are really exciting to find figures, and also the formula of the area and perimeter and on to dimensional figures. So the summarizing or the conclusion. So this is a mixed method, which is consists with 5 data gathering activities from starting with student group discussions, teacher workshop, classroom observations, pre and post test, and teacher interview. And then according to the quantitative and the qualitative analysis, it is found that the mathematics learning resources using Tapis Lampung for teaching geometry can be used as an alternative learning resource, which can help student and teacher to create meaningful teaching and learning and provide student with insight into mathematical knowledge in their social and cultural context. In addition, it can be implemented the enhancement student comparisons of geometry concept. So thank you so very much. And this is my references. Thank you.